Welcome to Razzball Radio on the Fantasy Sports Network. We are in Cincinnati. Nick Capozzi with my man Ron Blankenman, a.k.a. Smokey. You know what? I don't know if anyone told you this. It's pretty humid here in Cincy.
Yeah, it's pretty sticky. I feel like I'm carrying like a bucket of water, and it's just oozing out of me little by little.
Okay, well, that's maybe a bit too much information. Here's some good information, though, guys. If you want to host your draft party yourself, do it over at Hooters. We're right here, actually, just off the Ohio River. We got downtown Cincinnati behind us, HootersDraftParty.com. Get your guys out. The girls will take care of you. Plus, you know what's great here? Those real curly fries. Best thing ever.
Yeah, that's definitely the first thing I think of when I come to Hooters is the curly French fries.
Absolutely. Okay, Rob and I are going to talk some news. Also, we're going to do a Cincinnati Bengals team report later. Man, it is hot as HE hockey sticks. That's all I'm going to say. Wow. Okay, let's talk some news. So, first of all, the big news obviously today, Josh Gordon is suspended. Gordon is out for the entire year. That is not good news for people who've been drafting him. What about from a dynasty and a keeper league type scenario? Are you willing to hold on to him? Are you willing to burn a roster spot this year for him?
It all depends on your league sittings. Dynasty formats where you keep everybody forever, he's definitely a hold. I mean, for keepers, I actually got this question proposed to me today by a league that I'm in from a friend. We keep 5, and he's one of his keepers. He's like, what do you think? And I said, if you have 5 better keepers for this year better than him, I would say probably cut bait and throw him back into the pot. Yeah,
absolutely. And look, a lot of people are gambling. We saw him getting drafted a lot. I saw him drafted as high as the seventh round, which is crazy. I mean, you gotta make safe picks. Obviously, you want to grab some upside guys later. But I find, too, a lot of guys are reaching for guys who they think have a lot of upside way too early, and it damages your team. You want to compete this year. You don't want to just have you want the bragging rights of winning a championship, not just the bragging rights of, oh, I had Terrence Williams earlier, or, oh, I had Carlos Hyde earlier. You with me on that?
Yeah, I agree. There's a reason why everybody has, the formatted ADP rankings, because that's why people draft them where they should be. Guys that are drafted way before they should be, they kind of kill your team. They don't give the value that where they are, because you could probably fill your roster with fantasy stalwarts first and then go reach for a sleeper.
Yeah, absolutely. All over Twitter today, I kept seeing this joke. The NFL is going to suspend Brandon Whedon now because he got Whedon in his name.
That's a good one. I like that. I haven't seen it, but that's pretty funny. It's more like a cereal joke, I guess.
Another thing that's kind of interesting in this whole scenario is he's saying he got it from secondhand smoke. You know what? Look, you do what you want to do. You're grown people as long as you're, over 18 or 21, whatever it is, state by state. You know what I mean? The point is that if you go into a party and there's secondhand smoke there and you're already, this is just dumb. Just dumb by Josh Gordon. Whether it's true or not, you just look like a knucklehead. And then today, in the news, he's, I apologize to the Browns, I apologize to my coach, I apologize to my teammates. But then what does he do? He goes out and says, I'm sorry the NFL didn't blah, 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 Hey, come on, man. Come up with a better story, bro.
Yeah, and it's funny, they also released that over the past 2 years, he's taken 70 drug tests and passed all of them but one, and it's by 0.0 nanograms, which is basically just over what he shouldn't be doing. It's kind of like idiotic. I don't understand how teams don't have babysitters for these guys. They have such an investment value in the team and for the money of the league. Wow, it's just crazy to think about.
They're grown men. Be professional. Okay, speaking of being professional, Cam Newton's a tough guy. He's playing week 1 no matter what with that cracked rib. I'm starting to worry. Obviously, this is a guy I was on early because I thought he was being underdrafted. The reason was that I thought his wide receiving core was actually pretty good. But the problem is or more diverse than people are kind of giving him credit for. But the real problem is that offensive line looks terrible. How far is he sinking now for you?
I was never on the Cam wagon. I probably had him outside the top 12. I'd probably risk going for like a Cutler or a Romo before even I took Newton. I just question all his weapons. The running back situation there with D'Angelo Williams and Jonathan Stewart is not going to help the receiver situation because they're not going to be able to ground and pound at all. They got unproven guys with Kelvin Benjamin, and they have also rans with Jason Avant and Jericho Cotchery. Cotchery had a decent year with the Steelers last year, but I think that he was a product of, we have 2 great bigger weapons, and I think he got open because Sanders and Brown were the main targets there.
Okay. Bengals.com reporter Jeff Hobson saying both Jeremy Hill and Gio Bernard might actually split carries. They're talking like 200 attempts each, but their ADPs for running backs are way different. Gio number 9 right now, Jeremy Hill number 37, where you would get Pierce or Woodhead. How do you actually see that shaking down? Do you think that they could actually timeshare?
I think they do, but I think even if they do get 200 carries apiece, I think Bernard's value is really in his pass-catching ability. He's got the ability to catch 50, 60 balls out of the backfield because he's that all-purpose scat back kind of thing, but he also adds a great running element to the Bengals offense. So I think that's where the value that gives him at number 9. The thing that could really hurt him is when Hill comes in and steals goal line duties. That's where the vulture TDs are. That's a point killer right there. You want those points for Bernard, and probably Hill's going to steal some of those points.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, other news happening. Eagles tight end coach Ted Williams, that's a great name, great sports name. He's saying that Zach Ertz is one of the best route runners he's ever seen. If that's true, he could be in for a monster year, because we've been talking about which wide receivers are going to catch the ball there. What if Ertz becomes the field stretcher?
Yeah, I mean, was it Ted Williams or was it just Ted Williams' head? I mean, I know he's talking probably peeping up his own guy, but I've seen what Ertz can do. He's definitely a mover down the field. I just don't. I mean, he's probably just pumping up his own guy to give him confidence. But the Eagle offenses look like it's ready to roll. I don't see them like slowing down unless Macklin doesn't recover or Jordan Matthews doesn't develop like they're peeping him up to do. And their offense is going to score a lot of points this year, basically because McCoy's going to open up that offense because he's just sick in the backfield and just avoids everybody.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been grabbing Ertz a lot lately. Steelers aren't going to suspend Bell and Blount. They're going to let the NFL take care of it. What's a guess? How many games are you thinking on that?
I think probably one game apiece. And I don't think they let them serve at the same game. I think they probably give one the one game and then one the next game. So they're probably
but the NFL, they're letting the NFL do it. That's what I'm saying. The Steelers aren't going to control the situation. You think the NFL's not going to do it that way?
Well, that's my guess. I think the NFL's going to come in and
Are you usually good at guessing stuff?
Not usually. I'm not like the great Johnny Carson with the turban on. I mean, was that Carmack?
All right, so guys, here we are. We're at Hooters, HootersDraftParty.com. If you're looking for a place to host your draft, why not do it at Hooters? That's just one of the most logical things I think we've said on the entire tour. Okay, we're going to pack this up. We are going to go to inside Hooters. We got a draft to do, but first we're going to come back. We're going to do a Bengals team report, a little bit more news. It's all happening. Razzball Radio, Fantasy Sports Network. Don't forget, lock up your league fees for free, sportsvault.net. Let someone else do the dirty work. Don't deal with it anymore. Don't send collection agencies after your guys. Let Sports Vault do it. Razzball Radio, Fantasy Sports Network. We'll be back right after this. I gotta jump in the river just to cool off. Be right back.
I was never one for traditional dating, which is why I like to meet guys on ArrangementFinders.com. Arrangement Finders puts a twist on dating that works so well, they guarantee you'll find a girl. That's right, guarantee. Sounds too good to be true? Check out these girls on ArrangementFinders.com who are looking to date. She's hot. She's hot. Okay, her, not so much. Anyway, it's free to join. Go to Arrangement Finders and meet girls like me who know what you really want.
Welcome back, Razzball Radio, Fantasy Sports Network. I am in Cincinnati with T and Chris from ProjectRoto.com. T, of course, is at Houday with a U, not an O. And Chris, what's your Twitter handle, my man?
The Grizzly Beard.
That makes sense, man. I'm actually growing like this playoff beard. I can't, like hockey playoff beard, right? I haven't shaved since I've been on this tour. I am dying to go home and, like, shave this off or at least trim it down, man. How do you live with that fuzzy face all day? Because I had some wings here at Hooters. I was getting, like, wing sauce all over me, man.
That's how you pick up the girls. They'll love the sauce.
Okay. This is a family show. T, what's going on, man? T, thanks for setting this up tonight, bro. Really appreciate it. No problem. So, T, you are at Houday on Twitter. I don't see enough of you anymore, man. You got, like, the best avatar I've ever seen. Like, I need to see more T. What's going on?
Hey, I mean, I'm a stay-at-home dad, so I'm just doing what I can with my daughter. But at the same time, I'm coming back. I'm coming back to the world. I'm about to release Perusing the Perimeter of the blog this year for the fantasy football season. And make sure you check out the podcast, folks.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris, where can they find the Project Roto podcast?
You can find it at ProjectRoto.com.
Well, you know what that is? That's convenient. You know what else is convenient? Having your draft party here at Hooters, HootersDraftParty.com. Because remember, it's always happy hour at Hooters. Okay, guys, you guys ready to talk a little bit of Bengals? You cool with that? Yep. All right, let's start with the quarterback position. Andy Dalton gets, crapped on a lot for not being a very good quarterback. I think he's okay. I don't want him on my fantasy team unless it's a 2 QB league. Am I missing something? Is there more upside to him? Because if you actually look at his first 3-year numbers compared to what Peyton Manning did in his first 3 years, it's kind of similar. What's going on with Andy Dalton?
I think he gets a lot of flack. I mean, obviously, the arm strength is, I guess, everyone's big issue. Is
it because he's a ginger?
That might have a little bit to it, but I mean, the Ginger Ninja, he's as stable as they can get at the quarterback position for the Cincinnati Bengals right now. He's 10 times better in my mind than Carson Palmer, and I think the numbers show for it. A lot of the stat guys want to throw him a lot of shade, but I don't think that's just. And I think that this year, I think you'll see the next step from Andy Dalton, and maybe he takes that next step and supplants himself in that top 10 category in the quarterbacks for fantasy football.
I mean, it's not crazy. Come a little bit closer, man. Two hands to me that far away. Okay, what's your take on Andy Dalton? I mean, I don't want him unless it's a 2 QB league. You take that game where he had the 5 touchdowns against the Jets out of it. He was okay.
Yeah, I don't want Andy Dalton on my team this year. The quarterback is just too deep this year in fantasy. So, if you get Andy Dalton, your team's not looking good.
Okay, who would you like? I mean, rank the top 5 I won't put you on the spot with top 5. After Peyton, Rodgers, and Breeze, which quarterback would you like to have the most?
I like Matt Ryan a lot this year. I think he has a lot of upside, especially with Julio Jones being back and Roddy White being back. I think they have a good chance for a breakout.
I'm loving Cincy. By the way, this is a great city. We're down Newport, right across the river in Kentucky. Another state off the list. I think I'm at like 22 states now, plus D.C., closing in on 9,500 miles. I don't know how I'm still standing, but, man, it's humid here in Cincinnati. What's the city? I know it's the Queen City, but, like, do they call it the Natty? I mean, what do they call Cincinnati?
It's the nasty, the nastiest, the nasty natty. Any of those will work. I prefer the nasty, so that's what I call my city.
All right, fair enough. Okay, so the running back situation here is interesting. Earlier, Smokey and I were talking about, of course, the word on the street is from Bengals.com that Jeremy Hill and Gio Bernard are actually going to split the attempts, probably about 200 each. I mean, right now, 9th running back off the board is Mr. Gio, and Jeremy Hill's going mid-30s. How do you see that actually shaking down, Chris?
I think Gio will actually still get his 15, 20 touches a game, not necessarily carries, but he has so much upside with his big play capability. Jeremy Hill's someone I'm just not totally believing in yet. And
why not? Why you got to hate?
There's no hate with him. It's just I haven't seen anything, or he hasn't proven anything to me yet in the NFL. So Gio has already had a year in, and I think that he has the capability of being that top running back.
All right, what do you think, T? What's your take on it? Are you going to give me a different opinion here, or are we just going to replay what Chris just said?
No, I like both guys. I think Jeremy Hill's biggest knock is going to be his health. He's already been banged up in the preseason here and there. So he's probably going to take some plays off, whereas Giovanni Bernard is already the number one guy. He's going to get his touches like Chris said, but at the same time, I like the idea of using both, kind of a thunder and lightning kind of thing, combination that a lot of head coaches want to get that kind of running back by committee to be that kind of combo. So I like the combo, and I think it's going to work well.
Awesome. By the way, you lost a bet. We're going to have to settle that after. There's a bet here. You lost a bet to ProjectRoto. Look, someone's peeling out of the Hooters driveway. They must be released.
Only in the nasty. No,
we've been to some nasty cities. We've been to some nasty. No, I'm just kidding. America's been great. It's been really a lot of fun driving around the country. Okay, let's talk. I want to save the wide receivers for the next segment because obviously there's a lot to drill down on there. But let's talk about the tight end situation. I'm not a Jermaine Gresham guy. I think Eifert has a ton of upside. I got in a league with a keeper league, keep 6 keepers. It auto-drafted for me. I got Delaney Walker. First thing I did was dropped him, try and pick up Tyler Eifert. I like Eifert this year. What's your thoughts on the tight end situation?
If you have Eifert,
oh, man, that was like,
if he's your number one tight end, you're not doing too well in your league. I think.
Why not?
There's so much depth in the tight end position also, and there's just so many guys that have safe hands and safe quarterbacks throwing it to him. Like a guy like Dennis Pitta is a lot more safe, and he's even in the same division. So,
but you can tell I don't like playing it safe. I'm driving around the country, man.
That is true.
A lot of caffeine and turkey jerky.
I have not.
All right, Tyler Eifert, man. I think, listen, Jones is out. Again, we'll get to the wide receivers in a minute, but I think that there's an opportunity here for Tyler Eifert to really kind of take a step forward. Man, that guy is peeling through the natty. Holy cannelloni. The nasty. Sorry. Nasty natty. Tyler Eifert, what do you think, T?
I like him this year. I think right now, though, he's dealing with some injuries in the preseason. So that's going to limit his, availability to start the year, which could probably limit the usage of him to start the year as well. So he's kind of in that sleeper category. Maybe he can catch fire later on in the year, but as a first guy on your lineup to start the year, I'm not a believer, unfortunately.
All right, what about Gresham? Does he just suck? Because he came out. He was a first-round pick. He had upside.
He doesn't suck. He just takes plays off mentally, and unfortunately, That's not something that you want out of your tight end, and it just makes him very, very unreliable. So, although he doesn't suck, he'll have his weeks, but I wouldn't trust Gresham in my fantasy lineup.
All right, something that is reliable is sportsvault.net. Let someone else collect your league fees. You know, like if you're in the nasty natty and you don't want to go knocking on people's doors to collect your league fees, get sportsvault.com to do them for them. Also, too, guys, you can be playing daily fantasy with us on Sundays. Of course, football season, DraftKings.com. Enter promo code Razzball. We're going to be right back with my man Chris, my man T. We're in the nasty natty, Cincinnati at Hooters.
I was never one for traditional dating, which is why I like to meet guys on ArrangementFinders.com. Arrangement Finders puts a twist on dating that works so well, they guarantee you'll find a girl. That's right, guarantee. Sounds too good to be true? Check out these girls on ArrangementFinders.com who are looking to date. She's hot. She's hot. Okay, her, not so much. Anyway, it's free to join. Go to Arrangement Finders and meet girls like me who know what you really want.
All right, back, Razzball Radio Fantasy Sports Network, talking with Chris and T from ProjectRoto.com. Something really cool that Project Roto does is the concierge service. If you actually sign up for their concierge package, you guys will actually like help these people draft. I mean, am I wrong? Am I right?
No, you're exactly right. You guys go over to ProjectRoto.com, sign up for the concierge service. I think it's called Draft Assistant. Get me. You can get me to help you out with your draft. And all the other great writers over at Project Roto. So it's just something new that we're trying to provide for you fantasy football owners out there this year.
Wicked. Okay, let's talk wide receivers. Lots going on here. Obviously, we've got A.J. Green, one of the best in the business. I do worry about him a little bit because of his, thin frame long-term compared to some of the bigger guys. Also, we've got Sanu, who's become more interesting with Marvin Jones getting hurt. A.J. Green, is there a chance he could be the number one wide receiver in football for fantasy purposes, or is he going to be limited by Ginger Ninja? I can say that like all day, Ginger Ninja.
It's totally the ginger that's slowing him down this year, and I think he has top 5-ish wide receiver, but no, he's not going to be the number one, and I really don't think he's going to have the most touchdowns on the team either.
Oh, well, you can't just leave me hanging like that. Who is?
I think Sanu's going to take over those end zone, and I think he's going to be that big guy. We talked about tight end a little bit, and I think that's what's going to dip into them also. Is I really think that Sanu has a big opportunity this year, and it's just that A.J. Green has the big play capability. It's just he's not going to score as many touchdowns as Sanu.
Interesting. Dropping knowledge here. A.J. Green, chance to be the top wide receiver in football?
Absolutely. I think that, the money is going to talk in this situation. And, A.J. Green's still the first rounder that we selected over Andy Dalton that year that Andy Dalton got selected. So as far as we're concerned, A.J. Green's still the guy. A.J. Green's going to get his. And I do agree, though, with Chris in that Sanu, I think he takes a big step forward. I think a lot of people – what they want in Marvin Jones, I think that they can actually get in Mohamed Sanu this year as well. So go ahead and draft Sanu like you were drafting Marvin Jones last year and cash in on that sleeper.
All right, how many touchdowns are we talking for Sanu? Putting you on the spot right now. What's the over-under?
8. I think that's a safe number for him. 8 touchdowns.
You don't think A.J. Green's going to get 8 touchdowns?
I don't. I'm not a big believer as much in A.J. this year. I think he'll have the yards. I think he'll have the receptions. But I think the touchdowns will be down.
Wow. What's your okay, I want your over-under on Sanu and A.J. Green for touchdowns. Over-under.
Well, I think A.J. Green has to be a double-digit guy. If Hugh Jackson wants his job, he's going to make sure that A.J. Green's a double-digit guy. But Mohamed Sanu, for me, 5, 6, 7 touchdowns, I think that's reasonable range for Sanu.
Okay. Now, when Marvin Jones comes back, obviously he's got the foot fracture or some with his foot. I don't know. He's got a bum foot. What's the story here when he comes back? Is he going to gel back in with this group, or is there a chance that Sanu surpasses him? I mean, obviously you're high on Sanu, but could that happen?
I don't think he'll actually take over the number 2 position. I think he's going to play the slot kind of like he did last year, and he'll be kind of thrown in all over and just be that playmaker that he was last year.
You know what was crazy too, man? We came in here tonight. I'm like, hey, we're here for the draft. They're like, which one? I go, well, how many do you have? They're like 9. This is crazy, man. I know it's draft season, but obviously Hooters knows how to do it here. What's your take on how Marvin Jones comes back into the fold when he does come back?
Well, I mean, it's a foot injury, so it's going to be a very, very iffy thing. If he comes back, when he comes back, that's going to be questions that are
Iffy, when he.
And I mean, in that situation, Mohamed Sanu just has to take over and seize the moment. And I think that's what he's prepared himself for. And I think that last year Sanu actually had the edge over Marvin Jones in the competition until Marvin Jones kind of took off with his performance. So as long as Jones is out, Sanu's got time to eat. And if Sanu's eating, I don't see them diverting from their game plan too greatly to try and include Marvin Jones into what's going on.
We can't talk about a player eating without talking about T-Hole, of course. Remember in Seattle, he was like, he's going to eat. He's going to eat defense. He's going to eat balls. He's going to eat. He's going to eat. Okay, Cincinnati defense, flying a little bit under the radar, I think, this year. I mean, it's a pretty stacked defense. I like them. Is there a chance that they're like an elite defensive unit for fantasy this year?
Yeah, actually, absolutely. I think that they have the opportunity to be possibly top 5, top 6 defense this year. They have the up front. They have some corners. They have the linebacking crew. They actually have a really good chance to be a top 5 or 6 defense in fantasy.
What do you think, T?
Without Zimmer, we don't know. But obviously the pieces are there in place for them to perform the way that they should. So it's just all about whether or not they perform without Zimmer or not, and I think that's going to be a huge test to them, but they should still be a top 5 defense.
Okay, speaking of tests, we got to do one, man, because you lost a bet to Ryan Hodge at Roto Hobo, also from ProjectRoto. Thanks to ProjectRoto for helping us out on this whole trip, man. These guys have been great. Thanks very much, Nick. So you lost a bet. You got to do some push-ups, but you told me it was like 15 push-ups. No, hold on, T.
15.
So here's what I'm going to tell you. That's not an acceptable number. Okay. I'm thinking 50. 50. You think you can do 50?
No, he can't.
50? Yeah, 50, man. You do 50?
I'll try and bust out 50.
Okay, here's what we're going to try and do. Live here, Smokey's the camera jockey today. Smokey, can you zoom out the camera? We're going to see if we can make this work here. This is on the fly. Wait, don't start yet, T. You tell me. We got him in the screen yet? Here we go. Let's go. 3, 2, 1, go. 1. Oh, dude. 2. You're not going to get to 15. 3. 4. Man, it's already week 1. 5. 6. 7. 8. Man, T. 9. 10. Dude, you can't even get to 15. 11. All right, just get to 15, man. 12. 13. Come on, man. 14. T. 15. There you go. You did. Okay. Man, you could not have done. Come here.
There's no way.
Dude.
No way I would be able to do 50. Roto Hobo, I hope you're happy. All right? My is tired.
All right, here's what we're going to do. This is Cincinnati. We're going to go inside and draft in a couple minutes. We can find our draft party because there's so many going on in here. This is actually nuts. I'm really excited about this. I'm excited to be in Cincinnati. Let me ask you something real quick. In Cincinnati, what's the one thing I got to eat?
Skyline chili, without a doubt. I had it before I came here. I could eat at Hooters, but I chose Skyline, absolutely.
Okay, so here's the thing. 3-way chili, right? I heard about Skyline chili. I'm like, Smokey, we got to have Skyline chili. We got to get 3-way chili with the oyster crackers. See, I know. I'm in the know. You know what Smokey said? No. What do you got to say to him, T?
Yeah. I don't know about that, Smoke. I don't know about that, bro. Another good place, though, check out Alfio's over in Hyde Park if you're ever in Cincinnati. Great cuisine.
I heard Hyde Park's like a trendy area.
It is.
Yeah? It's cool?
Swanky.
Swanky?
Yeah.
I like that. So we've been, again, down by the riverfront. This is a cool city. If you want to come and catch some games here, you got the Great American Ballpark. You got the football stadium right next door to it. Lots of bars. Really cool area. We're across, we walked across the bridge from Kentucky. It was a lot of fun. All right, guys, here's what we got to do. We got to go draft, and then Smokey and I got on the road. Tomorrow we are in Nash, Vegas with the fantasy football hottie and her pool boy. Also, lots of other guys there. It's going to be a lot of fun. Razzball Radio, Fantasy Sports Network. Oh, I forgot to give you my sugar daddy today. I'll give it to you tomorrow. Razzball Radio, Fantasy Sports Network. See you from Nashville.